Welcome back to Flurry Sports, the rankings show, fantasy football ranking show. We do live every Wednesday evening, 7 p.m. Central. Trevor Land in the middle, Luke Reimer on the right. I am Zach Bruner. We usually go over my rankings in half PPR scoring since that's what Fantasy Pros grades me on. And then we compare the rankings to the rest of the industry consensus to see where we are higher or lower on a player. We're going to keep the good times rolling from last week. The rankings that you can find in the YouTube description below or go to FlurrySports.org. We were the sixth most accurate amongst a little over 200 experts, I believe. So it's worth your while to hang out and soak up any analysis we talk about here. And it's worth your while to return to Flurry Sports throughout the week to see updates to the rankings and to see other fantasy football articles. But yeah, we'll just jump into it. I don't think quarterbacks is going to take too long, at least the top five. Top five is Josh Allen at the Dolphins, Jalen Hurts at the Commanders, Patrick Mahomes at the Colts, Lamar Jackson at the Patriots. And then I have Justin Herbert right now home against the Jaguars in number 5. I understand they say he's questionable, but I don't. I think he's like a 95% chance going to play. But Trevor, what do you think of that top 5 for quarterbacks this week?
Yeah, Josh Allen might drop 40 points. Like, this Miami defense is not good. I mean, we saw Lamar just destroy them. And I think I saw a stat like they gave up 9 yards per completion on average. Obviously, those weird cherry pick stats aren't everything, but clearly they have a big problem in their secondary, and the Bills are absolutely rolling. This might be a game where whoever punts first loses. In this scenario, like if Miami has to punt 2 times in the first half, the Bills might run away with it. So I love him, and I'd assume he gets a rushing touchdown again this week too, because I don't think he's had one the first 2 weeks. It's been in a dry spell.
Week 1 he had one.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. That's right. My bad.
No, just to I guess I touch on Jalen Hurts here. I think I love him against that Washington defensive line. They can make him run all day, and I think that's just money right up, right into the pockets of fantasy owners. Patrick Mahomes, I think, could put up 50. Like, I don't know what you guys think, but I think this Indianapolis team is horrible.
I disagree, but
okay.
Continue.
Anyways, Patrick Mahomes, he has not missed a beat without Tyreek Hill. Everyone is becoming involved in this offense. I think for where my money is worth right now, I think Patrick Mahomes might be the front runner for MVP. I know we're only 2 weeks in, but the Chiefs are playing good football right now, and when the Chiefs play good football, Patrick Mahomes plays good football.
Completely agree. And yeah, I think Indianapolis is actually a good football team. I just think they have one of the worst play callers and head coaches in the league, and I think it'll sort itself out. We got a few questions here right away, though, all on YouTube. If anyone else has questions, definitely drop them in the chat. First off, one way, should I trade Derrick Henry for Austin Eckler? No. I say no. I say yes. Like, Derrick Henry was lower than Eckler in my preseason rankings, pretty sure. Derrick Henry, my thoughts on him are well known over the years. Plus, his offensive line isn't very good. So, like, yeah, I think it's a no-brainer for me personally.
Fair.
Trevor, you're the tiebreaker. But Luke, yeah, why do you like Derrick Henry more?
Love him in cold weather. I think every single year I've become accustomed to this and seeing, Derrick Henry, he turns it on in cold weather games. And I think that's where he makes a lot of fantasy owners very happy. And I think that's where championships are won. And now I know Derrick Henry's injured last year. Is he going to get injured this year? He very well could be. But I mean, if we're going to talk about injuries between Derrick Henry and Austin Eckler, I think I still like Derrick Henry more than Austin Eckler. And I understand, Zach, with the Titans, Titans aren't probably not a very good football team. They're, like you said, their offensive line's not great. I would think at some time Malik Willis comes and plays football, whether that be halfway through the year, towards the end of the year. When that happens, I mean, Derrick Henry's the number one guy. He's going to be the number one guy throughout. I guess Keenan Allen coming back also scares me for Austin Eckler.
Everybody knows my thoughts on Austin Eckler. He might be my favorite player in the NFL. Right now, obviously, it's been 2 weeks, so take it with a little bit of a grain of salt. But Derrick Henry is running back 38. Austin Eckler has not ran for more than 40 yards per game, and he's still running back 13 in half PPR. That's because this dude is just a monster in receiving. Even the first week when he only had 4 receptions, and if you're talking PPR, 4 receptions, 36 yards, that's 7.5 points right there. So for me, just in the multiple things that he can do, he's running for less than 3 yards a carry, but he's still an RB13. So I think his floor is super stable, and his ceiling, again, with the receptions, for me, can also be a little higher. However, injury risk does carry a little concern for real.
Mike Felzerano, PPR sit 1, Josh Jacobs, Kareem Hunt, Amari Cooper, and Tony Pollard. If you think you can get by with like an 8-point score and win, like if you don't think you need a massive performance, I would go Pollard. Otherwise, if you think you're going to need something, I would play Pollard rather. I would sit Amari Cooper at that point. If you think you need a big performance, then I'd go the opposite way. But I think for me personally, Jacobs and Hunt are both locks for the lineup.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm dropping Cooper too.
Just sit. Don't drop him.
Well, yeah.
Jeb Armstrong, I'm being offered Michael Thomas for Cortland Sutton. Should I accept? I also have Javonte Williams. Not sure if I want the RB wide receiver stack. I'm just not sure if I want a Bronco.
Right.
I'd rather have Michael Thomas for Sutton.
Same.
So yeah, I'd take that.
Oh yeah.
I mean, he's a top 10 wide receiver so far.
Yep, I'd take whatever side gets Michael Thomas.
Yeah, and the side that has the better quarterback, which is Jameis Winston.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry about it. Joshua Loyola, help. Darren Waller, Cordero Patterson, and Josh Jacobs for Travis Kelce and Melvin Gordon. I'm big on Kelce, but want to hear opinions. Wait. Waller, Patterson, sorry. My wires are crossed.
So he wants Kelce and Gordon.
Yeah.
I think that's too much.
I would agree, I think.
Are you two on opposite sides?
No,
right?
I think me and Trevor
we're on the same. That's too much to give up for Kelce and Gordon.
Oh. I'd do it.
I'd like to know who his tight end is, though.
Waller.
Well, probably Waller.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought this was Waddle.
Yeah, I mean Kelce's a big upgrade, but just Cordero and Jacobs for Gordon. I mean, heaven forbid Gordon goes down. Boy,
yeah, it depends on your running backs. If you're stacked at running back and Cordero and Jacobs are like third and fourth, yeah. If you're starting either of them, then maybe pump the brakes a little bit. Randy, thank you very much. Mike's one was Jacobs and all them. His wide receivers are Justin Jefferson, Brandon Cooks, Michael Pittman. So sit Cooper and Hope Pollard, Jacobs and Hunt at flex upside. Yeah. I think that's what I would do.
Yeah.
Josh's running backs are Christian McCaffrey. I almost said Ed McCaffrey. What year is it? And Saquon Barkley.
Who would be the trade then?
I wouldn't. I don't trust Saquon in the slightest.
I mean, you have an incredible team. I don't think this is going to change.
Yeah.
Then go for Kelce. Yeah. Make an all-star squad. I'm all for that.
Yeah.
I love how all three of us switched both times.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I think I would want Kelce, but I would still try to work your team around getting a better running back 3 than Melvin Gordon, because I think we got a couple weeks left of Saquon Barkley here.
This dude's going to end up with granted Saquon stays healthy. This dude's going to end up with the whole first team All-Pro on his fantasy team.
Yeah, possibly. Yes, Trevor is going to have to eat cheesecake on stream. It'll be
moving
good.
on to running backs.
Who was the McCaffrey that the Packers signed 3-4 years ago?
Was it one of the quarterback McCaffreys?
No, it was a receiver.
I don't remember.
I'll look it up.
Running backs or quarterbacks I'm higher on. I'm 5 spots higher on Marcus Mariota this week. I have him at 13. I'm 4 spots higher on Daniel Jones, who I have at 20. And then I am 3 spots lower on Russell Wilson, who I have at 14.
Max.
Max McCaffrey, yeah. You're right. Any of those quarterbacks stand out? Any other quarterback you guys specifically want to talk about?
What do we make of Tua? I guess moving forward.
I think if he has about 15 to 20 yards to drop the ball to his receiver, he's good.
Mm-hmm.
However, I think more players are going to be more aware of what they're doing than Kyle Hamilton was on the Ravens. So, I mean, Tua is he's fringe quarterback 1 most weeks, I would say.
I agree.
Yeah. I have him ranked above Aaron Rodgers this week, which hurts me. It really hurt me to do. Moving on to running backs again, half PPR. That's what Fantasy Pros grades me on. Going back to Jonathan Taylor for number 1 running back of the week against the Chiefs. I think there's a big dose of him this week. Christian McCaffrey, number 2 versus the Saints. Dalvin Cook, number 3 versus the Lions. Joe Mixon, 4 at the Jets. And then I do have Saquon currently number 5 versus the Cowboys. Again, much like last week, I'm looking for any reason to lower him, and I'll find a reason before the end of the week, I promise. Luke, what do you think about those 5 running backs? A lot of them, I suppose, would need bounce back performances. Well, I think all of them sucked last week, except for McCaffrey.
Yeah, and Indianapolis has to include Jonathan Taylor in their offense, especially losing 24-0 to Jacksonville. So it would be my guess that Jonathan Taylor gets 30 touches this game. I think he's full-blown number 1 running back this week. I think this might be a week that we see an all-time fantasy performance from Jonathan Taylor.
I mean, to me, the only way they beat Kansas City is if they slow the pace down. Yep. I mean, if we're going to get into a shootout or you give the Chiefs multiple possessions, you're done. You're just going to get smoked. So they got to slow the game down to their pace. So Taylor's a guy that I like, and I have Saquon. I've been higher on him than almost everybody this season, but even I will say I think 5 is a little high against Dallas. I'd look at maybe Eckler, Swift, or Fournette up there, but he's definitely not going to fall outside the top 8 for me.
If you ask me where Saquon finishes this week, I would say probably 10. I just don't know who I want to move above him yet. So we'll see what I do. But I don't know. I want to put Swift higher. I just don't know how many touches he's going to get.
Yeah.
And my original reaction was to have Fournette at 5, but if they don't have a passing attack, the Packers are going to be selling out for the run a little more, you'd think. But
you would think so.
To add on, you guys just brought up Jonathan Swift there. Maybe I'm DeAndre Swift, and maybe I'm jumping ahead here. But does Jamal Williams need to be owned?
Yeah. Well, I continue to be surprised at how little he's owned. I think most years, anyways. Even during his Packers days. But DeAndre Swift isn't the picture of health. He's already fucking hurt, and Jamal Williams is clearly one of the best handcuffs in football. It makes no sense why he's not owned.
I agree.
Not to mention he's actually a week-to-week performer. But yeah.
And he's a good football player.
Yeah. And he's very passionate and gives really fucking cheesy speeches that makes me respect him a little less. But man, I do like him.
So Randy had a question about should he start Burrow this week over Cousins?
Yep.
I see you have Cousins at 7, Burrow at 8. Is that something you can see moving or?
So just did it. Yeah, I like Burrow.
Cool. Me too.
I think Burrow. If you delete Instagram and Twitter from your phone, 400 yards. Mark it down. Can that be my guarantee? Watch him go. He's gonna go crazy.
I have a take. that's
Go for it.
going to be unpopular. But I think that I'm kind of over Joe Burrow.
I was kind of getting there too. I
Yeah.
don't like it though.
No.
I want to like him. I need him to give
Mhm.
me a good reason. Like this thing today wasn't a good reason. That kind of made me like, come on, Joe.
I didn't expect their offensive line to get like super good after their signings.
They're a bet.
I did not expect.
By the way, their offensive line's better. I don't want that narrative to be out there anymore. This offensive line's miles ahead of last year. It's way better.
They just look horrible though.
It's
That's more
coaching.
what I'm saying.
Yeah, like it's the same thing that we talked about last year, and I've been talking about for 2 fucking years. You can scheme a bad offensive line to not give up sacks. They just don't do it. Like they would rather roll Joe Burrow out on a fucking naked bootleg for no reason. It makes no sense. Like no one's falling for it. It's the Bengals are so poorly coached. It's unbelievable. But that offensive line, I promise you, everybody is not even close to last year. Last year was so bad. Patty the Batty.
Oh, I wish.
Welcome. It has to be. I don't know another Patty.
Right.
PPR, should I? I'll do it like this. PPR, should I trade away Curtis Samuel and Chase Edmonds in exchange for Deontay Johnson? Yeah. Yes. Get rid of Chase Edmonds as quickly as possible.
That one's a sure to me. I don't know how much it. I mean, you're going to get a number one guy on a team that's, Steelers haven't looked great,
No.
to be fair. But Deontay Johnson still gets like 800 targets a game.
And Curtis Samuel just scored a touchdown back-to-back weeks. We may never see that in his NFL career ever again.
Mm-hmm.
Legitimately. Like, trade him.
It's tough for me because 2 for 1, I usually, for most part, default to 2. And we all know Curtis Samuel is just Devin Funchess, just worse. And that makes me happy because, he's close to Devin Funchess. But I'd probably take Deontay. The only thing that makes me hesitate, though, is he is so damn injury prone. I swear he's questionable every week.
Why do you like in a vacuum, you like the side with 2 over the side with 1?
Usually.
Why?
Just because I think depth, for the most part, it isn't the end-all be-all. I don't think you should draft for depth. I don't think you should just have 5 RB3s. But I have seen a lot more teams crumble because they try to pull an Icarus and just get all the wide receiver and running back ones than I've seen teams crumble from having depth. And that's just kind of a personal take. And as you can probably assume, that has happened to me a lot. So
here's a question, I guess, for my fantasy team revolving around Deontay Johnson while we're on the topic, is are you starting Christian Kirk or Deontay Johnson for my wide receiver 2?
Kirk.
Yeah.
Kirk.
Yeah.
His
targets are... Yeah, he's a good player. Like, people are he was underrated in Arizona. But, like, he's also... Targets are being funneled his way. Marvin Jones, we talk about how underrated he is. No longer. The dude, not good. From what I've seen, not good.
I like the little career resurgence of Zay Jones in Jacksonville.
Yeah, that was an interesting one. Wasn't expecting that.
No.
He can't be very old, right? Like 24, 25.
I also wasn't expecting them to completely remove Dan Arnold from the game plan for a guy that cannot catch. Like, I didn't expect him to get like 5 catches a game anymore, but jeez.
I'm going to say something. Evan Ingram looked good.
He did look good. Zay Jones, 27. Older than I thought. And surprising.
Eastern Carolina legend.
Was he?
Sure.
He also went to Gardner-Webb, apparently. Interesting. Okay. Anyway. Don't even know what we were talking about.
We were talking about running backs. I'm sorry. Then we went off on the Deontay Johnson tangent.
Cool. I like Jeff Wilson this week. People are slightly higher on... I mean, I can just move to running backs here. Compare it with the consensus. But people are getting sneaky, feel like they're getting sneaky with Jordan Mason.
Yeah.
On the 49ers. Like, he was active week 1, and then the rookie was made active week 2 alongside him, and Mason continued to not play on offense. He's a running back, but he's strictly just a special teams player on the 49ers. So
agreed.
Now they just signed Marlon Mack. I assume Marlon Mack will be activated for Sunday. He is better for fantasy than Jordan Mason.
Is Marlon Mack even worth a look for fantasy?
I think so.
Yeah.
Like what makes him any worse than Jeff Wilson?
Right.
As a player, at least.
Putting injuries aside, is Marlon Mack, well, I guess he has injuries too. Is Marlon Mack not the Tyrod Taylor of running backs in the NFL? Give this man a shot. It is glory. He's not had a shot ever since.
He needs a few more teams to be Tyrod Taylor. He's only played for like one team.
That's true.
He just
likes to put them on the same team. Oof, that would be incredible. Honestly, Marlon Mack's probably going to be signed by Miami anyways, so.
Probably. Any other running backs that are important to talk about?
I would like to talk about one.
Okay.
Just to get your thoughts on J.K. Dobbins. Is that like ever going to be a thing? Like, I know he's still hurt and coming off injury, but you have him ranked at 48 against New England, which I guess it makes sense. But can people expect anything out of J.K. Dobbins this year?
Yeah, I think he plays this week. And he is really, really good. Ravens' offensive line is still not healthy, but once they're fully healthy and everything, I think he's RB2 at the very least every week. I think he's really good. And I think best of all, Kenyon Drake and Mike Davis proved they're really bad.
Correct. Mike Davis should not be on an NFL team anymore.
Same with Kenyon Drake.
Right.
Yeah, neither. This is also the team that signed Le'Veon Bell last year, right?
Yeah, he should get another shot.
And they brought Todd Gurley in for a workout and did not sign him. So, tells you where they're at with him.
I'd be so hot and bothered if we had a backfield of Lamar Jackson and Todd Gurley.
Would you? I'd be having hot flashes. YouTube, should I trade Darrell Henderson and Sterling Shepard for Javonte Williams? Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, quickly.
Yes.
Randy wants to know how our fantasy teams are going so far.
I got 11. You got to be more specific.
Agreed.
Yeah. Majority are going all right. I lost Trey Lance in a lot of them.
Yep.
So
yeah, tough. I went 2-1 in the leagues I had him, and I did considerably worse when I didn't have him, which is not good.
True. I did a dynasty trade in a deep league, trading basically Kyle Pitts for Darnell Mooney and Elijah Moore, and all the players involved are horrible. So I don't even know how to feel. Don't know if I won. It's been a nightmare.
That's like that trade I was talking to you, Zach, about Kyle Pitts for DK Metcalf.
Right.
Trevor, what side do you think wins in that?
Honestly, I'd probably have to default to DK just because Atlanta just does not want to throw him the ball, like ever.
Man. Yeah, DK, we'll get to wide receivers in a second. He's someone who I think should have a good week this week.
I hope so.
But I don't know how to rank him. It makes no sense. Let's go running backs compared to the consensus. I am higher on Jeff Wilson, who I said I have at 20. That's 6 spots higher than the consensus. I have Ramondre Stevenson at 34, which is 4 higher. I'm also 4 higher on J.D. McKissick at 41. I'm 9 higher on Eno Benjamin at 44. I'm 10 spots higher on James Cook at 52. And then 5 higher on Josh Kelly at 56. And then quickly, I'm 5 lower on A.J. Dillon, 6 lower on Devin Singletary, 4 lower on Michael Carter at 38, Mark Ingram at 46. Breaks my heart, but 7 spots lower on Rex Burkhead at 54. Rest in peace.
Good
Alexander Madison, as always, I'm 4 spots lower on him, and I have him at 59. Any of those interest you guys?
I have an exciting topic that we can talk about.
What's that?
Let's talk New York Jets backfield.
Boy, hot and bothered again.
I'm going to mute myself for this conversation.
Is it Breece Hall time? I mean, he scored last week?
Yes, I believe so.
It felt watching that game that he kind of took, I don't want to say the lion's share, but he was kind of more featured than Michael Carter. Which I could be wrong on. That was just watching through Red Zone. But I don't love it as a Michael Carter owner.
This is what I'll say. Breece Hall's usage is way higher than Michael Carter. Michael Carter played 43 snaps to Breece Hall's 19.
Okay.
So it's pretty different, but Breece Hall clearly, well, they both actually look kind of good.
Mm-hmm.
But when you have Joe Flacco at quarterback, you have to cover every square foot of the field. So, which the Browns still couldn't do, but it spaces everybody out.
Right. When you have Joe Flacco at quarterback, everyone looks good.
True. That's right. That's very true. But yeah, I think I have Breece Hall ranked just ahead of Michael Carter. I don't love either because I do think it's like a pretty even split, but I think Michael Carter for sure still has value.
Do you think anything changes when Zach Wilson comes back or not at all?
I think all the receivers get worse. I think the running backs could pick up targets in the receiving game because Joe Flacco's not a check down guy.
Fuck no.
No, absolutely not. He would rather stiff arm the defensive end to the sideline and then keep running up the field.
Yeah, kind of switching gears a little bit. You talked about Madison. I know Cook isn't a big guy catching passes out of the backfield. He will, but that's not like his role. I was still shocked at how much they used Madison on the last few possessions in the fourth. Like, I knew, obviously, the game was over, but I was like, at least feed him a little bit. I mean, it worked for me. I won my fantasy matchup because of that, but it was just a little concerning.
I don't know about you guys. To me, it was totally like, we're not going to win, and who cares about Madison's body?
Mm-hmm. I'm still on the boat that Alexander Madison has no value if Dalvin Cook is playing.
I agree. I'm not sure what. He's always ranked higher than what I do. It's super weird. Anyway, wide receivers. Big week for wide receivers last week. This week, again, half PPR. I have Cooper Kupp in number 1 versus the Cardinals. Justin Jefferson 2 versus the Lions. Devontae Adams 3 at the Titans. Jamar Chase 4 at the Jets. Stephon Diggs 5 at the Dolphins. Luke, what do you think of those wide receivers?
I think, Devontae Adams needs to be more involved. He had 2 catches. He scored, but only 2 catches and a loss to Arizona, which is tough. But it's hard for me to not – I assume you have Stephon Diggs, obviously 5's not low, but because of that Miami secondary?
That, and I think Gabriel Davis will be back, and I think they spread things around a little more. Okay. I think you can attack the cornerback too for the Dolphins a little bit better.
Okay. Cool. And Cooper Kupp, I think, might be the stalwart at number 1 for the rest of the year because that guy gets 10,000 targets a game.
Yeah. And unfortunately, Matthew Stafford stopped confusing the 2 white guys last week.
Mm-hmm.
Kupp got all the targets.
Fucking Tyler Higbee's involved in the offense now.
True. Once Stafford figures out that's also Cooper Kupp, boy, it's going to be...
As a person who has Justin Jefferson in one of his leagues, I'm really interested to see what the Lions do this week. Their defense looked atrocious against Philly. It was either hot or cold against Washington. I really wonder what they're going to do against Justin Jefferson. But I mean, he's got to be 1 or 2 this week. Like, there's nothing telling me this guy's going to be a bust, which probably the kiss of death, but.
Rodrigo's going to end up on Justin Jefferson when he's in the slot and just burn him for a 75-yard touchdown.
Probably.
So we do have a question about wide receivers.
Quickly, Harris asks, I traded Deebo Samuel and T. Higgins for Justin Jefferson and ETN. What do y'all think? If you need running back depth, then you did very well.
Mm-hmm. I kind of like Deebo Samuel.
Agreed. Right? Yeah.
I don't see any reason why San Francisco doesn't go back to the same offense they had last year. With
correct.
Jimmy back.
In a vacuum, I'd rather have Deebo and T. Higgins. I think they generate more points. But, if you're super good at wide receiver, which, he probably is after this, getting a running back's also good.
So with this, he said his receivers are now Justin Jefferson, Godwin, CD, and Gabe Davis. I don't really love that, but to your point, it's solid. I'm not saying it's bad, but if you needed running backs, then yeah, I think that's not even really a question.
Patty the Batty, should I trade Alvin Kamara? Depending on what you can get, yeah. I'm not sure if you'd be selling high, but I also don't know when you're going to get a peak performance out of him. So
Yeah, this
kind
might
of
be as high as you can sell Kamara for at least the next couple of weeks.
right. See what you can get. Do you think I would fleece this guy if I got Deontay Johnson and Garrett Wilson, getting rid of Curtis and Edmonds?
Yes.
I don't remember if you said your other running backs. I guess it depends on your running back depth again. Because like I don't love Garrett Wilson necessarily without Joe Flacco. And I'll like not even to joke around, like legitimately. I don't know. I think Elijah Moore's kind of a buy low right now because I know Zach Wilson likes him. Not that helps you, but like, just sad. He has Kamara and Dalvin Cook. Well, without that, then you would not have Alvin Kamara. Who else do you have?
Penny.
There you go. Yeah, I was saying it. Rashad Penny's and Edmonds on the bench. Man, I'm not sure because I don't trust anybody.
No.
Just in life, but
No.
Dalvin Cook, like after him, then yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it depends.
Go for it.
I think they're both. I think both teams are losers in that trade. I'll say it.
In the other trade, yeah, I mean, yeah, I gotta do too. But I don't know. I almost would rather do a trade trying to upgrade that RB2/1, I guess. I don't know. I don't think Deontay Johnson's going to be the Deontay Johnson of last year, I guess.
Yeah, he probably won't win you a fantasy championship.
Right. Okay. Talked about those wide receivers, top 5. Man, do I care about anybody else? Let's go. Let's just compare to the consensus. Michael Pittman Jr. practiced today. I think it seems like if there's no setbacks, he's going to play. I'm 6 spots higher on him. I have him at 14. 5 spots higher on Rashad Bateman at 17. 4 spots higher on Drake London at 21. I really like Drake London so far for fantasy. 6 spots higher on Tyler Lockett at 30. 7 higher on Jacoby Jones or Jacoby Myers. Jacoby Jones, who's that?
He's a Ravens kick returner.
With
Joe Flacco.
Callback. Is that who Mike Tomlin tripped?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. Such is life. Jacoby Myers, 7 spots higher at 35. I have Julio Jones. I was kind of combining the two there. 9 spots higher at 47. Devin Duvernay, I continue to love. Like I have him at 58, which isn't that high, but 7 spots higher than the consensus. 15 spots higher on Richie James Jr. at 67. He's on the Giants. For people who don't know, he's been pretty good. But what's your thoughts on Kenny Gallade? Because he plays 2 snaps last week, but then he comes out and says he's super upset, right?
Mm-hmm.
They can't really cut him. They can't trade him unless they eat all of his salary. So do they play him more this week?
I don't think Brian Dable cares.
Yeah.
I wouldn't either. They're 2-0. Like they haven't exactly played the pinnacle of competition, but he's a new head coach, right? He's got to get the locker room behind him. And if he just wilts to Kenny Gallade, even though he has shown no effort, yeah, I don't see it.
I think Kenny Gallade plays like 25, 30 snaps, which is kind of in between the first 2 weeks. I think he's going to play more, but I think in turn that probably hurts Richie James Jr. the most, but I still am higher than the consensus on him no matter what.
Yeah, and we're not saying to start him in your league or anything, just to have an eye on him.
Right. Let me see what his stats were really quick. Where do I have him ranked? Because he was pretty good. Obviously, Dallas, I'm not afraid of. First 2 weeks in half PPR, wide receiver 44, wide receiver 50, 5 receptions in both games for over 50 yards in both games. So workload's there, I guess. And then the other receiver I'm higher on is Breshad Perriman. I have at 68, which is 12 spots higher. I assume he's going to have a big role against the Packers this week.
Agreed. I had a receiver to bring up that you didn't mention there, Zach.
Okay.
Sorry.
No.
Is Jahan Dotson a thing?
I think you asked this exact question last week.
I did, and I'm sure I'll ask it every single week going further.
Probably. I'm going to give what I would assume was the same answer. I think he's a really good player. I just don't really trust Carson Wentz a ton. Well, I do. I trust him more than most people on the football field, but I don't really trust Jahan Dotson's role very much. And I think if he didn't, I'm trying to find where I even have him ranked.
You have 50. Nope, way off.
Where is he? Where'd that?
37.
Oh wow, way up there. Okay. Like I think if he didn't have that touchdown last week, he wasn't as good. 4 receptions, 59 yards. Yeah, I just don't trust him to score a touchdown every single week. He doesn't seem like that type of player. So if he doesn't score a touchdown, I think you're going to be asking yourself why you started him.
Also, 3 years later, Logan Thomas is finally involved in the offense.
And still unowned in fantasy.
Mm-hmm.
I'll get to him. Receivers, I'm lower on. I'm 5 lower on Brandon Cooks at 22. 9 spots lower on Marquise Brown at 24. I don't know why people think he's a top 15 guy. 6 spots lower on Elijah Moore at 39. 6 lower on Hunter Renfrow at 45. 10 lower on Chase Claypool at 56. 6 lower on Mecole Hardman at 61. 11 lower on KJ Osborne at 71. 11 lower on Devontae Parker at 81. Any of those guys excite you guys?
I guess I'll walk your thoughts through Brandon Cooks.
I don't understand why people haven't ranked that high, I guess. Like, he plays the Bears, and I know he's going to get targets, but I think they are going to run the ball twice as much as they did last week. And I like Nico Collins a little bit more than everybody else. So I just, kind of balancing the targets out a little bit.
I before we move on to tight ends, I have a question for you guys. Do Packers receivers need to be owned?
I think Lazard does. I don't think anybody else does, though.
Yeah, I don't necessarily know that Lazard needs to be started every week, though.
No. I think he's going to score a touchdown more often than not, though, when he's active.
Yeah.
He's going to be like this year's version of Tim Patrick.
I like it.
Sure.
So we have a very interesting question from Jackson.
Oh, I thought you were going to say
I'm saying take the trade 100 times out of 100. But
I haven't read it yet, and I'm not going to because I don't skip questions. So
how are we comparing tacos to tortillas? Does he mean like quesadillas?
I don't know what a tortilla is.
I don't know.
Tortilla is just like the thing that a taco is made.
A taco shell, yeah.
It's a chip, a tortilla chip.
Yeah.
I don't think that's what he.
I like nachos over tacos.
I feel like he's asking tacos or tortilla shells. Then it's like what?
I agree with Luke. I do like nachos more,
and
I'll go with that. Hope that answers your question.
Soft or hard shell tacos?
Soft.
All day.
Depends from where, but I'd mostly go soft.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, next question. Jackson asks, do I trade James Conner, Cooper Kupp, Chris Godwin, and Hawkinson for Amon-Ra, Deebo Samuel, Derrick Henry, and George Kittle?
Absolutely do it now.
Blockbuster. For really? No.
Yeah, I don't think so, right?
No, I don't think so.
Henry over Connor, who's injury prone. You get Amon-Ra and Deebo for Kupp and Godwin, and Kittle's better than Hawkinson. Well, I'm
really?
That.
How many points does Kittle have this year, Trevor?
Okay.
It's gotta be
played 2 weeks.
It feels like two less points than TJ Hawkinson.
Yeah, at least.
I like this trade just for the chaos involved.
Fair. If you can get another team involved, I like it more.
I don't love trading Cooper Kupp, though. And I know you're getting back on around Deebo, but I just don't love trading Cooper Kupp.
I feel like with every trade we talk about, I'm just like saying don't sell low, buy high. And like, I don't know why you're selling Chris Godwin right now. And I don't know. I like James Conner more than Derrick Henry probably rest of season. Anyway.
Really? Even with his injury history?
Yeah. The dude overcame cancer.
That's not wrong.
The silent killer. Ayo, it's Greg.
It's very silent.
Cancer? It's not that loud. Should I trade Ezekiel Elliott, Brandon Ayuk, and Gabe Davis? I don't like Derrick Henry. Is that what you wanted me to say? That's what's going on here.
So I think that
Hell no.
the running theme is, and I think all three of us have put our thoughts out, but is it buy low on Derrick Henry right now?
I think
It's
probably
buying high on him.
you're not buying high. I think it's a buy low, but I just don't think he is King Henry. I think he's.
But I'm saying
King Henry
that
used to cut his
price
wife's
is
heads off.
buying high.
Sorry, Trevor.
No, you're good.
Luke is right. Trevor, what were you saying?
I was just saying that, like, you're not buying high on Henry right now, but like that price seems like it seems like way too much for where he is right now. Like, dude's running back 38.5 PPR. You should not have to give up Zeke, Ayuk, and Gabe Davis.
I don't know why I skipped over Ezekiel Elliott. You're still giving up too much, but I do like getting rid of Ezekiel Elliott whenever I can.
Yep.
But yeah, it depends. If your league is like, if it's an 8-team league, I would do it because I want those 2 roster spots. Otherwise, I wouldn't trade that much. James, do we cover Dynasty? We don't have much articles on it, but we all play it, and I do some Dynasty ranking stuff for places. So
we can cover
a question. Yeah.
Ask any questions. Go nuts. We'll do it.
Absolutely. I mean, literally, including, what's your favorite sandwich?
Cheeseburger.
Yeah.
If made right, I gotta go either Reuben or cheesesteak.
Also,
I'm a grilled cheese guy. I forgot about that. I love grilled cheese.
You know what's better? You know what makes a grilled cheese better?
Bacon.
Burger patty.
Yeah, true.
See, so we're back at cheeseburger.
We have a restaurant out here. It's gourmet grilled cheese. It's 5 types of cheese with bacon on cranberry bread, and it is incredible.
That does sound good. There used to be a place in the mall in our food court that was all different gourmet grilled cheese types.
I would have lived there.
You know, you say that. I went there one time. Cheese wasn't melted. Never went back. I'm like, you do one thing, melt the fucking cheese.
Yeah.
10-man PPR for that big blockbuster or the 3-for-1 trade rather. Current roster is Hurts, CMC, Saquon Barkley, Pittman, Gabe Davis, DJ Moore, Ezekiel Elliott, Travis Kelce. So he could have the dream team of Christian McCaffrey, Saquon Barkley, Derrick Henry all out by week 9.
Who else is in this freaking league that you could have all 3 of these guys?
All of these, and a testament to who's ever drafting, but all these leagues that we're getting questions on, how do you guys get so many good players?
No shit.
They're not drafting with smart people.
These are all made up questions.
James, my burner. I'm typing questions to get content.
Yeah. Would we trade Kyle Pitts for a 2023 first and 2023 second?
It's a good question.
I would for sure do it if you think you're relatively weak on running backs for next year, because I really like the running back draft class coming in.
Agreed.
I would for sure do it in that case. I think otherwise I still probably would do it, but I think the person would be willing to give up something else.
Yeah.
Like a player.
I almost like it more if you can get a player instead of a second.
Yeah. I agree with that.
And especially with tight end premium, that's something. I'm assuming he's trading premium. Pitts for the picks, but that's a good like bargaining chip. That is the tight end premium. It's not just a regular dynasty, but I like getting the picks, as seen by me taking Luke's first and third for 2 straight years.
It depends on how premium it is.
That's true.
Even though that's like a stupid statement to say. But like if it's just like 1.5 points per reception while everybody else says 1, I would do it. If you're also getting like extra points for a first down reception, blah, 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 blah. Like I do think Pitts is pretty good long term. I just don't think he is the guy everyone projected him to be, I guess.
Yeah, he got drafted way too high in the NFL.
Yeah.
He says it's 1.5. So yeah, I'd trade him for that.
Yep.
I don't think either
agree.
side loses that trade either. I think that's a solid trade.
Agreed. What does Trevor hate for foods? What else do you hate for a food, Trevor?
I don't hate it, but it's severely overrated whipped cream. We need to talk about
I
whipped
hate
cream.
whipped
It
cream.
adds nothing to food.
Nope,
Absolutely
not at all.
nothing.
I think I agree it's overrated. I don't
I think
agree
it
with
sucks.
hating it. I don't know. I don't think it's
Also,
relevant.
Miracle Whip and Cool Whip can go straight to hell. Hate them both.
Never eaten either of them.
Plain, I don't like it. Like if you make a dip, made out of it or something, maybe.
What do you mean plain? Like you're taking spoonfuls of Miracle Whip?
That, but I just mean like on a sandwich and stuff. I don't like
Oh,
it.
gotcha.
You're right. I should have specified further.
Every
Alex
week you can ask that
McBuckets.
question. I'll think of some.
Is McBuckets a family name? Let us know that as well.
Pretty
Should
sweet
I?
last name it is.
For sure. I know someone with the last name of McCracken, which is fucking
Ooh, that's pretty
awesome.
good.
Yeah. Should I trade Alvin Kamara and Devontae Adams for Justin? I was gonna say Justin Timberlake. Jonathan Taylor.
Yes.
AJ Brown and Mike Evans.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Either JT. Full PP, but yeah, for sure. Jair Bangers. Do you guys trust anyone on the Browns other than Chubb to start Thursday?
Kareem Hunt.
Yeah, I think Kareem Hunt's fine as a flex. Yeah, I don't trust Amari Cooper. I think he's fine, but I don't trust him. He owns. Wait, James is with which question? Oh,
he was the Kyle Pitts.
Yeah, he's trading for the picks. Yep, we like it.
It's a good transition to tight ends.
It is. Yes, we did wide receivers. Okay, tight ends. Again, we continue to be. Let me say this: we continue to be one of the most accurate places on tight ends, and it's because we adjust. Like we don't fall into recency bias, and we don't play victim to name value. Like last week, I didn't have Kyle Pitts ranked in the top. I think he was like 9 or 10 for me. Like he wasn't super high, and that's why we were really good, obviously. So just evaluate and try to get away from name value a little bit. But number one, hey, he's got the name value. That's Travis Kelce. He's number one. All these guys are on the road. So Travis Kelce at the Colts, Mark Andrews 2 at the Patriots, Goddard 3 at the Commanders, Darren Waller 4 at the Titans, and then I do have Kyle Pitts 5 at the Seahawks for this week. Trevor, what do you think of those 5?
So with this new podcast coming out, is it possible for Travis Kelce's stock to be blown up even more because now that he's likable as well? That'll be interesting.
What are you talking about?
But well, people like him. Like they love the podcast. He's so much more likable. People like to roster likable people.
I don't know if his stock could have been. You said the Bears have swag, and then you're insinuating Travis Kelce wasn't a likable player.
No, I never said he wasn't. I'm just saying the podcast makes him even more likable.
Do you think the podcast, to go along with that line, and I understand they're two different players, but do you think their podcast makes Draymond Green more likable?
No.
A little bit.
Okay.
I don't know.
You don't like Chris Middleton, so your opinion doesn't count. But going back to the tight ends.
No opinion on Chris Middleton counts because he's an irrelevant player. He's the saltine cracker of the NBA.
Nope.
Hey, he was ranked 23rd among active players, so I'll just leave it at that.
By who?
By me.
By like NBA players.
You only ranked him 23rd. Congratulations.
Hey, high.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Hey, Chris Middleton, pretty good. Pretty good.
Hey, that means he's the best player. He would be the best player on like 9 teams in the NBA. It's pretty impressive.
No, if he was on any other team, they would still value him 3rd because it's Chris Middleton.
True.
No,
that is true.
Value him 1st. Have you seen the Kings play? They are horrible.
Yep. De'Aaron Fox 1, Sabonis 2.
Magic.
Chris Middleton 3.
Magic.
Spurs.
Jameer Nelson and Dwight Howard. Jameer Nelson still plays there, right? He has to.
Hito Turkoglu, too, and Rashard Lewis.
What a player, Hito Turkoglu. Fuck that dude. JJ Redick was there for a cup of coffee. Yeah, fuck Hedo Turkoglu. I'm with that.
Yeah,
I hate that guy.
Hedo Turkoglu is the villain version of Peja Stojakovic.
Yeah.
I on the hill.
Yes.
Peja Stojakovic is a dude. But anyways, back to tight ends.
Do you remember that account on Twitter that was Tim Tebow's evil brother?
Yeah.
That's what.
Yeah.
That's what Turkoglu is to Stojakovic.
Yes.
So looking at tight ends, I like them all. I don't even know where to go with that, but I like them all.
Thanks. Yeah. Okay. Let's just read questions here. James has another dynasty question. Running backs are Aaron Jones, Rashad Penny, Damian Harris, Hilliard. Would you trade away a first 23 for David Montgomery? I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
Yeah, I like a lot of the running backs coming in, and the Bears, I think, are going to ruin David Montgomery's career quickly.
Although I will say, if he's trading away Pitts for a first and a second, he would theoretically have 2 firsts. So if you have a chance to win this year, and you can still have a first-round pick and get Montgomery, I think that's a move. But if not,
I don't hate that.
I'd keep it.
That's fair. He's also stacked at wide receiver, and that's why his running backs are weak. So fair enough. And honestly, you're in a good position going forward then, because like I said, I think the running back class is really good. New Mexico, what's the name? New Mexico Suckers. Great names tonight. Dalvin Cook or Michael Pittman for the flex. I would go Dalvin Cook.
Yep.
Dalvin Cook or Michael Pittman for flex.
Wait, time out a second.
He just switched the
New Mexico Suckers. Who are your running back 1 and 2 if you're playing Dalvin Cook at flex? This is another one where I'm just interested in.
It's got to be a 4-person league, right? It's got to be 4 or 6.
I think he just values Dalvin Cook lower because he hasn't been very good.
Okay,
that's fair.
Like, I don't think it's going to be like, oh, I have Jonathan Taylor. And yeah, I mean, maybe. Props to you. Like I said, like we said before. Okay, so tight ends. I like Kyle Pitts this week. I don't like the way Seattle's scheme guards tight ends very well, especially athletic tight ends. I think he's going to be matched up on a linebacker quite a bit. And like maybe if they were healthy, Jamal Adams could have covered him a little bit, and I still would have liked Kyle Pitts at that point. But now they have the backup to Jamal Adams, and they're at safety. I think Quandre Diggs is there at the other safety, and then their linebackers aren't very good in coverage. So I think it's going to be a better game for him. So, yeah.
I think, too, Marcus Mariota is not the kind of guy who's going to throw 50-yard passes every single play, especially with Seattle's soft zone there. I think him and Cordero Patterson see a lot of targets this week.
Yeah, I like Cordell Patterson in the receiving game a lot this week. Completely agree. Logan Thomas, we talked about him earlier. He's been good. He's been getting a lot of targets. He looks healthy, good to go. Plays the Eagles this week. Has been tight end in half PPR 20 and 6, but his targets were 6th and 5. And the only real difference between the 2 weeks is that he caught a touchdown last week. That brings you all the way from 20 to 6.
And that's how,
yeah.
Like tight end's the ultimate position where you chase touchdowns.
Yep, and he's much like, it's not as extreme as the last couple of years, but he's still like one of the only players on the team above 6 foot who's a receiver. So like he's going to be a red zone threat.
Logan Thomas is 31 years old. Do you guys know that?
Yeah, he played quarterback up until like March of last year.
Mm-hmm.
I think he was on the Eagles too at one point, wasn't he? Is this another revenge game?
No, I have it pulled up because I thought it was too, and he wasn't. Arizona, Miami, Giants, Lions, Bills, Lions, Washington.
Jeez. I don't remember him on the Bills. Okay. Compared to the industry consensus, I'm 4 spots higher on Tyler Conklin, who I have at 13. Joe Flacco loves Tyler Conklin. Just chase Joe Flacco's loves, basically. 19 is Juwan Johnson for me, who is 4 spots higher. He is getting more involved in the Saints offense. I like him quite a bit. And then I have Noah Fant at 22, which is 4 higher. I don't love him. 22 is not that great. Only player I'm lower on by more than 3 spots is Robert Tonyan, who I have at 21, which is 5 spots lower. Packers just aren't giving him a ton of snaps anyways. So, I just don't think he has that big of a role on this team right now.
Yeah, I agree, and maybe this kind of goes in line with my point about the Packers receivers. During Rodgers' press conference after the Chicago game, he had mentioned that this is what the offense is going to be all year. 8 guys getting 3 receptions. So that doesn't scream. That obviously it doesn't scream fantasy value anywhere across the board for the Packers receiving targets.
Completely agree. But even on top of that, even if he's spreading it around on a play-by-play basis, they don't seem to trust Robert Tonyan in blocking very much right now, which immediately kind of takes him off the field for obviously a large percentage of the plays.
Yeah. Also, I think with coming off of his injury, Robert Tonyan, he's not going to – I don't know that he's going to be that deep guy anymore who's just wide open over the middle of the field. So once it comes to the red zone, I think the Packers' first 2 plays are always going to be either Aaron Jones or A.J. Dillon.
I agree. Frustrating thing is, who the vertical tight end is now?
Tyler Davis?
It's Tyler Davis. Why? He is doing nothing out there. I don't understand it. He's I've always said Tyler Davis is kind of like a slower, less athletic Kyle Pitts.
Yep.
So maybe that's what they see in him.
Yep. He also has a different skin color.
Does he?
Yep.
Too damn icy. Who won this trade? Cooper Kupp, Gerald Everett, and Cordell Patterson for Jonathan Taylor, Dalton Schultz, Marquise Brown.
I think that he lost the trade.
I disagree. I like getting rid of Dalton Schultz.
That hurt me in my core, hearing that about Dalton Schultz.
He's hurt.
Don't care. I still believe. No. I think
it's just looking at his time.
Looking at his RB2s, I think he loses. But yeah, it's tough to grade with Schultz, to be fair.
Well, I don't know why he made the trade.
That's fair.
I just don't see a need for that trade either.
If your starting wide receivers are Hill and Diggs, you don't really need Cooper Kupp.
Yeah, I would for sure try to get a better running back by trading away one of your receivers now. Like comparing them with a running back and doing that. But yeah, I like getting rid of Brown and Schultz in a big way. I think Gerald Everett's value goes down now as well, though, with Donald Parham coming back soon, if not this week, pretty soon. Yeah, hey, should I accept Kittle and Sutton for TJ Hawkinson and Deontay Johnson? I think it's an easy yes, and I'm glad you said that. I agree. Yeah, I would do it.
I think I would too, but I don't know how much of an upgrade you're going to get here.
It's true. I'd agree with that with Lou.
Renfro Claypool from Randy. Ooh. Renfro.
I think so.
Hey, Kevin. PPR, should I trade Amari Cooper, AJ Dillon for Tyreek Hill? Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Unless, again, you have no other running backs. But yeah, I assume you do. Okay. Let's do our picks for the week, I suppose.
Oh, shit.
Real quick, are we doing it on Prize Picks again?
Yep.
And then I do want to say we all went 3 for 3 last week. How about that? First week that's ever happened. Mostly because last year was super, super specific. So, that was on us. But Luke, you said Mike Williams over 68.5 receiving yards. I think that hit in the first half. Yep. I said Najee under 56.5 rushing yards. I thought it said receiving, so maybe I'm wrong. I thought he was under. Devin Duvernay, Zach, you said over 26.5, and he got like 42. So,
yeah, and we're doing this on Prize Picks. So if you are watching on YouTube, go in the description below. There's a link for Prize Picks. Otherwise, go to Prize Picks, sign up with the promo code Flurry. You get a deposit match up to $100. You can do player props, picking over or under specific stats or fantasy points. Like Trevor said, we went 3 for 3 last week. So if you just played the 3 picks that we told you, you would have gone 5 times your money. You can go up to 10 times your money with parlays. And there's a lot to like already this week. They just posted the props for pretty much every game today. And I placed a 5-pick parlay. And I see there's a couple questions here. I will answer them after. But I'm going to say my pick, and I'll read the others I have later. But my official pick, I'm going to go Kyle Pitts over 45.5 receiving yards. Again, I think it's going to be a good day for him. I think he can exploit the matchups he's going to see with Seattle, especially because Seattle doesn't move their defense really at all. They're just going to stay put, and Atlanta theoretically should be able to scheme Kyle Pitts on just about anybody they want.
Mm-hmm. For my pick, I mentioned that I think Jonathan Taylor has maybe one of the greatest fantasy games of all time. So I guess I kind of have to take his over 82.5 as my rushing yards as my pick. I also think it helps him that Willie Gay from Kansas City got suspended.
Yep. I was going to make a homophobic joke, but I didn't.
Jesus.
Not about me, about Jonathan Taylor not liking
Willie Gay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Trevor, what's your pick?
Man, this is tough. I'm not seeing anything I'm loving here.
Okay, well, really quick, you can continue to think. I'll just answer a question. Logan Jensen, former Flurry writer. What's up? Hope you're good. Do I bail on Travis Etienne and try to move him if you can?
Yeah, at the right price.
Yeah, I don't think he's irrelevant going forward.
Yeah, I don't think I'm totally ready to give up on Travis Etienne yet, though. It's only been 2 weeks. He's only played 2 NFL games.
Yeah, I wouldn't sell low.
Yeah.
You know, it's ironic that the question is about Etienne because that was the one that kind of caught my eye. I think his line for rushing yards is at 25.5. He had 47 week 1, 20 against Indianapolis. I think he gets to over 25.5.
That's good.
Jacksonville's got Chargers this week?
They have, let me tell you. I think it's Chargers. I think you're right. Yep, you're right. At LA, so there might be no fans at the game for either team.
Perfect for Trevor Lawrence.
True. Too damn icy. He had the trade before the big one, I believe. Yes. Okay. So his thought process was now was the time to trade for an RB1. Yeah, agreed. So yeah, definitely go for a running back now. He also, like you, Luke, has no faith in the Colts. I yesterday just placed another bet on the Colts to win the division. So that's where my
put that
head's
money
at.
on Jacksonville.
Why?
Jacksonville is going to make the playoffs this year. You heard it here first.
I did hear it here first.
Hopefully you forget it by time to the playoffs. No.
Nitin Velsetti or something. I trade Cortland Sutton and Tony Pollard for Amon Ra. Yeah, I like it. Unless you have Ezekiel.
Amon Ra. He is like wide receiver 3. Like he is one of. All he does is produce. All he does is scores touchdowns. He's in that Tim Patrick category.
Except slightly better.
I like selling high on him, though. I will say
that's true.
But I do like him. Thoughts on Juju? Yeah, go ahead.
I'm sorry. When you say sell high, what does that mean? Like, what are you looking for?
If you can get wide receiver 1 value for him, if you can get an RB1, if you can get an RB2 and a wide receiver 2, something like that. Like if you can get wide receiver 1 value, do it.
Because I mean, really, he was like what, a 5th or 6th round picks in some leagues. So if you can swap that into that after 2 weeks, yeah.
Yeah, I drafted him as a wide receiver 3 in multiple leagues. Like that's where he was going for sure. Yeah. Thoughts on Juju? Will the Chiefs offense just feed the hot hand, or is Juju wide receiver 2? I think they're going to feed Juju when he's healthy. He for sure wasn't healthy last week. And I guess I don't know for this week quite yet.
I think Kansas City needs that underneath to be open for this offense to work. And that's Juju all day.
I agree. But I mean, obviously getting hurt in week 1 definitely doesn't put much faith. Is he a wide receiver 2 for him? And this week, I'm not sure if I want to put him there because I just kind of want to see him be healthy again. In a PPR, I think he's an easy wide receiver 3, though.
Yes.
he's also kind of one of those guys probably who's never, high yardage and a touchdown. Like he kind of needs the PPR points.
Mm-hmm.
Did we talked about tight ends? Oh, my other picks on Prize Picks, I guess. I'll just run through. Again, you can play all 3 of our picks together for up to 5 times your money. You can string 4 together for 10 times your money, but all of them need to be right. If you play 5 picks and at least 4 of them are correct, you can still win money. But if 5 are correct with that insurance policy, you also get 10. But the parlay I play is Kyle Pitts. I said 45.5 over. Dameon Pierce's rushing yards are set at 56.5. I kind of regret not picking that as my over. But like Dameon Pierce is going to get fed so much. Lovie Smith loves this dude, and he plays the Bears, so I really like that.
Big Lovie revenge game.
Right? Yeah, Lovie might kill a guy.
Mm-hmm. Eberflus is going to get so alphaed in that game.
Yes. Oh, I want to see Lovie peacocking on the sidelines.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Daniel Carlson, I have over 1.5 field goals made. Najee Harris, I have over 17.5 receiving yards. That seems like a gimme. And then whenever anybody gives me this, Matthew Stafford over 1/2 of an interception. Take it every time. Like, I love it. Even if it's wrong sometimes, it's usually not going to be wrong. Matthew Stafford's going to give you one.
I think that I like Leonard Fournette over 69.5 rushing yards too.
I think it's possible. It'll be interesting to see if for some reason the Packers have really good penetration. I think Fournette could have like 10 receptions instead of all the rushing yards. But I think he's good this week regardless. James Martin, would you trade Aaron Jones and a 2023 first for Swift? No. Effing Christmas. Would you trade Javonte and Brandon Ayuk for Fournette? For some reason, I was still on Dynasty Brain for a second. No. No, I don't think so. No. Yeah. Anything else you guys want to talk about before we get out of here?
No, I don't think so. Does Jerick McKinnon need to be owned?
If you can pick him up to play him, if you need to play him in like a deep league PPR flex spot, sure. But I don't think his value ever is going to go up.
I agree.
Yeah, he just kind of is what he is, much like J.D. McKissick. If you don't have a role for J.D. McKissick now, he's never going to see more carries or anything like that. He just is what he is.
I think I told you guys that I was going to kill myself if Jerick McKinnon got one more touch inside the 5-yard line.
Yeah.
Like this should be Clyde's season. Fuck Andy Reid, man. Clyde is healthy. He's playing well. Get him touchdowns.
Can't let his head get too big. Andy Reid knows he's got to have to resign him at some point.
God.
And you can point to that touchdown number. Yad Heaver Pata. Did you just like throw your face on a keyboard? Should I trade away
Terry? Is rude. That is rude. You apologize right now.
No. Should I trade away Terry McLaurin for Breece Hall? Other running backs, Saquon, McCaffrey, other receivers, Chase and Deontay. No. Yeah, definitely not. Yeah.
Your first name's Zach. Why don't you put some more vowels in there or something?
Zachary has 2.
So does Luke.
Should have more.
Lucas also.
As I only have 2.
So does Trevor.
Okay. Well, swing and a miss.
Like many things, I didn't think that out very well.
So yeah, every single Wednesday evening we are live here to go over rankings. So definitely subscribe. Hit the notification bell if you're on YouTube. Twitch has something, I'm sure. But yeah, every single week you can come in here. We'll answer your fantasy questions. I think there's going to be a fantasy stream tomorrow. Probably not with us, but with other fantasy football people. And Luke, did you just ask a question?
I like this guy's name. Speaking of good names on the show today.
I don't. I personally don't.
How many vowels does it have? Luke has Mark Andrews.
No, I don't.
Or Travis Kelce. Okay.
What? Wait.
I see what he means. So these are all the players he has to trade. What would be a good package? And
he has Andrews and Kelce.
Love it.
Honestly, I'd just package Hollywood and Zeke. I would love having one of them one of Andrews or Kelsey at a tight end, the other at a flex. Keep Bateman as a wide receiver.
The only
And
thing I
Hollywood
think
try to get something.
I think you can get a running back with Andrews Kelsey alone that you can start.
Yeah. For sure, if you wanted to go that route. For sure.
Considering he's looking for running backs.
Yeah, I mean, would you get, depending on the owner, like I would think you can get trade Mark Andrews and Ezekiel Elliott for Dalvin Cook.
Yeah.
Like
Najee
I would
Harris.
do that. Yeah, something like that. Yeah. Don't need a. If you can trade Hollywood Brown though, if someone actually wants him, go ahead do that. By the way.
Mm-hmm. Hollywood Brown is just going to, I believe he's just going to go down too when DeAndre Hopkins comes back. And he's not doing anything now as the number one guy.
Right. Yeah. I'm way lower on him. People this week have him as like almost a top 10 guy this week. I don't get it.
Yeah, he should have stayed in Baltimore.
I'm sure if it's his choice.
Lamar wanted him.
Fair. But yeah, this was Flurry Sports. We'll be back soon. See ya.
Bye.